Well, hello, welcome back to Tail 3 Cabins. We're back in Northern Ohio this week. We'll be catching up on Southern Ohio probably in a couple weeks. I might take off the 4th of July, but we'll pick up where we left off then, where we offloaded the house, and we'll kind of show you how it's fused together, what they do to attach it. There were a couple of questions like what happens underneath in the foundation, how does that get attached to the foundation, how do they bring the two ends together on the inside, also up on the roof, the first floor area, all the work that needs to be done to complete the house so it can be sealed up and weather tight. So we'll catch up with that in a couple of weeks. So there's some catching up to do here in Northern Ohio. One of the tools I normally use, implement on JD this time of year. We're going to pull that out and get started, and we got a lot of work to do. Yep, so it's that time of year again. I pulled out my 48-inch tiller. In this area here, I want to plant some grass. This used to be our old chicken run, which before that used to be our old garden area. And the soil should be pretty good. No need to treat it, no need to put any topsoil on it. We're just going to till it up, and it should be good for grass seed. Now this won't be the only area that we're working on today. Finally, we're going to start working around the pole barn. It's also a time to start our garden. So if you've watched our channel for quite some time, you know that the pole barn has been pretty much a long ongoing project. First we had issues with the zoning board, then we finally got the pole barn up, and then it was just a matter of clearing things out, leveling things out around it. And this spring we're finally able to get rid of this mud and plant some grass seed. To the miracle of YouTube, since we've been working in Southern Ohio so much, this video is a little bit backed up, so you're going to be able to see the finished results once the seed is in and grown for about a month. This is still a tough area here. There's a lot of tree roots and maybe remnants of a stump or two. This tiller is capable of going down 6 inches deep But you don't want to do that for planting grass seed. You don't want to loosen up that much soil, because when you walk on it or drive a mower over it, odds are the soil is still going to be loosely compacted, and you're going to put ruts into it and even footprints. So somewhere in that 2 to 3 inch mark is good for tilling up the soil for grass seed. Another thing that's best to do, and I'm pretty impatient, so a lot of times I'm guilty of not doing this, but to just keep going over and over and over until the soil becomes a nice fine powder. That way it's a lot easier to smooth out and level out, and you won't have so many bumps and divots in your yard once the grass is growing. As I said, I've been working on this area for quite some time, and if you watch the videos, you know that this was a pretty dense area of trees, scrub trees, and brush before it was cleared out and made for a pole barn to be placed here. And it's not uncommon to be hitting tree roots, or you think you have everything cleared out and you come upon a little stump. And the bad thing is you have the tiller on now, and it's kind of a pain if you needed to go back and put the backhoe on to dig out a large root or stump. So if you notice, the freshly turned dirt behind the tractor right now is much darker, which means that the dirt on the right of that area had time to dry out a little bit. So if you start your tilling job, I usually kind of go over it again, over everything a second time. And by the time I go over that second time, the top of that soil's been dried out a little bit, and makes it a little bit easier to make it into a finer powder. End of day one, we'll start out tomorrow with the delivery and back to work. As I said, the area around the old chicken coop doesn't need any topsoil. That dirt is going to be just fine for planting grass seed. But around the pole barn, I need to fill in some areas, and the soil is not the greatest here. So I'm going to get an order of topsoil, spread that on top, and then I'll be ready to start putting some seed down. Always try to consolidate the chores that I have with the implement that is attached on the back, so since the tiller is installed, it's a good time to till the garden. Okay, so the shadows are getting kind of long. It's the end of day 2. A good time to stop. Tomorrow we'll end up putting down some fertilizer, starter fertilizer, grass seed, and a little bit of straw on top. Fertilizer's down, grass seed is down, and the straw is on top. That little patch there, we kind of ran out of straw, and I was not going to go buy a whole another bale for just that little area. And it turns out that when this is all said and done, that this grass seed grew much better in that little patch than anywhere else. So right after we planted the grass seed, it did not rain, period, for 3 weeks straight. And I was basically out here with a garden hose, watering it every evening, and most of it came out pretty good. There's that little yellow area there that I'm a little concerned about, and that's the area that I used a stump grinder to grind up a large oak stump that was there, and I kind of wonder if the chips from that is robbing the nutrients to have the grass growing there properly. But all in all, despite the little drought that we had and maybe an issue with the UPS driver backing on part of it and then having to reseed that area, it doesn't look too bad. Alright, so all in all, it didn't turn out too bad. There's a few little places I'm going to have to put some turf builder in the fall, and then maybe I'll have to add more turf builder in the spring. We'll see how it works out. But I'm kind of done messing with it for now. I'm a little concerned about that bare patch that's starting up there. I kind of wonder if it is from the stump that I grinded up there, and there was a lot of oak grinding still in that soil, and if maybe that is sucking up some of the nutrients, which is causing that grass to be a different color and a little bit thinner in that area. But I appreciate everybody watching. Hope you enjoy and subscribe to these videos. Click on that little bell when you want to know when a new one is coming out, and keep an eye on us. Take care, everybody.
This conversation can serve no purpose anymore. Goodbye.